I am really excited to welcome my client, Lisette, the beautiful, beautiful Lisette, and to for her to share her journey with all of you because this amazing single woman who is based out of California.
Yes,
And what do you do professionally, Lisette?
I work in e-commerce, so
Okay.
I set up online stores.
Oh, cool. So this beautiful, independent, smart woman came to me almost 1.5 years ago,
Almost two.
almost 2 years ago, and she has a very inspiring story of complete turnaround. And today she's happily engaged to a man who adores the ground she walks on, quite literally. And I am so grateful that, Lisette, you spare your time to come and share your inspiring story with the ladies. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So, what was your experience with dating and relationships before you found me?
A good question, Sammy. My dating life was almost non-existent. Um, I hadn't been in a relationship that I with somebody I really liked for about 4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
and everybody who I went out with, I wasn't very much into, and also, I couldn't find anyone my age to date. I found a lot of people who were, unavailable, or, and if I did like somebody, they would almost run for the hills from me. So it was pretty bad.
Oh, yes. It's generally, you see, I talk about breakdown before breakthroughs. So sometimes we have to be really in that painful place in our lives before we decide to step up and change or, make a change and take that uncomfortable step. So, before we go into more details of your journey, can you
Yeah.
share where you are now?
Yes, so I am engaged. Here's my
Yay,
engagement
show us that
ring.
ring. Look at that beautiful ring.
Thank you. And I have been engaged for a few months now. We're gonna get married this November. And the guy that I'm with right now, he was probably somebody I would not have met, or if I did meet him, I would not have kept with this program. He is very sure about being with me and spending the rest of his life with me. He's very generous. He feels supremely lucky and blessed to be with me. And, he's dated a lot too, and feels like he scored big time. And just says how lucky he is, how he has Irish luck, and can't believe his luck basically. Yeah.
Wow. And how do you feel, Lizette? How do you feel, Lizette?
How do I feel? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that the first time. I feel pretty good. I feel very confident in my abilities now. I feel very surprised too at some of the results I'm getting. With just how quickly this all. I feel surprised at how quickly this happened, and some of the things he says, especially around my family. Expressing his happiness or expressing his certainty, or I just never thought that I can have someone be so generous with me, so loving, and so I feel really good. I feel really good, very pleased, and supremely lucky too to have gotten this work behind me. Well, not behind me, but I have gotten this work with you and some of your associate coaches.
It's amazing because I like how you use the word I feel really lucky
Yeah.
to have found this work because
Yes.
you deserve the love that you're getting, right? It's not luck. You have created this love in your life through the skills that you have actually invested in learning and really worked hard on your inner world. And I remember, you know, you going down, literally feeling really down in the dumps after
Yeah.
one relationship that you were in did not work out, and you were still part of one of my group programs,
Hmm.
inner circle, I think. And I remember that it was very hard at that moment for you to keep your faith in this work, in yourself. And so it's very beautiful for me to hear that you don't think you're lucky to have
Uh-huh.
this love. You know you deserve this love, but how lucky
Yes.
you were that this work intersected in your life and you found it at the right time. So, Lisette, I remember it was hard for you to make the bigger investment. Do you remember that conversation, and do you remember the anxiety in that decision?
I do. I do. I remember at first not like making the investment because I have made big purchases before, with coaching and self-development, and quite honestly, they have not been as fruitful or has paid back so much like this program. And so I was very skeptical at first. I was, going through the motions of, having to basically pay and trust, that
Mm.
this too could, work for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big point you bring up, because I think when people have done a lot of other coaches or downloaded many programs and they haven't given them results, then
Yeah.
this making this kind of a decision ultimately feels like just another program or just another investment that is not going to give me the results I want. And so that can be really scary. So
Yeah.
what did you think made you overcome that fear?
Well, Sammy, I liked you.
That
That
helps.
was part of it. And you were very approachable. You weren't this, large enterprise that I, that I felt disconnected to. In fact, I felt like, you were a young lady like me, and or you are young, close to my age. And I can see that you have gotten results for yourself. And also, I had known prior to meeting you, I had heard about feminine energy and being prized, but I had never had anybody take the interest to see to that I get a program and I invest and I apply it. And so your level of involvement for me was the deal maker. So that's why. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's not just downloading a program that gets results, it's actually the implementation of it and also the investment, because when the investment is high, we take it seriously, we stay accountable. I mean, I can't remember the number of $200 products I've downloaded and never gotten back to, simply because yeah, time is a very
Yeah.
precious commodity in my life. But if I've invested 5K, 10K, 15K in something, I make the time for it. Then the stakes are too high to let it just lie in my inbox and not apply what I'm learning there, because I'm going to feel really, really bad at the end of the day and feel really guilty that I spent all that money and still do anything about it. So, investing at that high level and investing in a way that makes us uncomfortable is actually one of the secrets to success or getting results, right? Of course, you still have to do the work, you can't escape that bit, but it
Yes.
really helps with keeping you accountable, it really helps with keeping you serious and on track. So, Lisette, you were rotational dating, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Was that hard?
Um, at first, but once at first it was hard because I had a hard time finding people to add to my rotation that I felt good about. I didn't have any guilty feelings. I understood it more when I studied it in several of your programs. It was just finding the men to do that with at one time. But I think after a year and a half, when I had a breakup, it was much easier for me because at that point it did not feel personal if somebody came or somebody left. And I was using it to like I don't know if using it has a good connotation to it, but I was rotational dating to heal at some point
Yeah.
and to learn more about myself. So, um, I was healing heartbreak with rotational dating. So it really served me and soothed me, to do that. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And with your current fiance, your wonderful fiance, did you give the no girlfriend speech?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I came around the fourth month where, he had casually, called me his girlfriend. And I, put a stop and I said, wait a minute, you never asked me to be your girlfriend. And, I've never asked you. And, at that point, he was rotational dating too, by the way.
There you go,
Um,
men do it. It's
but
very normal.
I know, and somehow he was assuming that I was exclusive with him, and I told him I had to be very ready to give this speech because it needed to come naturally and authentically, and I actually wanted to desire not being a girlfriend. And so I heard it and studied it in several programs to make sure I got this from
Yeah,
every angle
yeah.
because he fought me on it. And fought me, in a good way where, now he was invested, now he cared, and, wasn't happy with it. And I, um, have to have every counter argument ready to say why, to explain to him why and how it wasn't cheating and how this isn't unethical because I'm letting him know until he knows what he wants and he's ready to make a commitment, then I will stay open to other men who are interested in me. And I gave him this analogy that, let's just say, I have something very precious to me. I'm selling a house, and I put it up for sale. And in this case, I'm talking about me, looking for my life partner in marriage. And I said, let's say, you're a buyer, you come see my house, and you're like, I really like this house, but I'm not making you an offer. Well, then I'm going to say, well, then I'm going to show it to other buyers who's ready to make, who I feel good about and who, want to make me an offer. And finally, I think that he got that. And I said, and I'm not willing to wait. I'm gonna have an open market. And then he's like, okay, fine. Let's give ourselves a month. If we're still compatible, then I'm yours. So a month later, he proposed to me in the beachy side of Malibu in a restaurant, viewing the ocean. So, um, he with time felt better and better, and he felt sure, and so that's where we are.
That's beautiful and that's very powerful. And at the first listening it might sound very practical. Oh, I'm not a house on sale, and if you want to have an offer. But I think the energy underneath is so powerful and so worthy. It's so much
Yeah,
easier to give yourself to a man that is offering you girlfriend or temporary commitment versus stand up for what you truly believe in and be in your power and know what you deserve and not be willing to settle for any offer less than what you think you deserve. So it's coming from
right.
a very solid place of worthiness. Lizette, this is absolutely mind blowing. Would you say that the work has impacted other aspects of your life as well?
Yes, other lives as well too. Self care is a big part of my everyday life now. Um, Setting boundaries, caring about myself. I think before I met you, some of the things that I was struggling with myself was, caring about me and what's important to me. I was very resigned, obviously in love, but in other areas too.
Yeah.
And, I had to really, let go and give up, kind of my bad attitude or bad perspective about things. And so, when I went through your inner circle program, I saw my experience and my life quality improve. So my relationship with myself is healing, and, caring about me and being able to exercise the right to say no, and, looking for my best interest. This is diviness that I've never was encouraged or ever promoted to me as a good thing. Usually people want you to be a good person or be generous, and want you to relate to them in a way that benefits them. and
Them.
and it was really solid for me to learn how to stand up for me, and learn to love and grow myself.
Beautiful. How beautiful is that? And would you say that you feel like the prize now?
Yes, I feel very good about myself. One of the things I knew when I was rotational dating is, you know, I knew that the guys would really, really, fall for me. It was just a matter if I let them.
Yeah.
If I if I let them, be close to me and date me. And so I knew I had that power. The last three, including my fiance, the last three people I dated, I had that effect with them. Now they just had to, make the mark, basically. Yeah.
Beautiful. And can you remember the times when you did not feel like the prize? Do you still have a glimpse of that past
Sir,
story?
yes, certainly, Sammy. It's not too long ago that I struggled with feeling worthy, and feeling good about I'll do something that's very personal to me. My fiance makes about three times more than I do in income, and in the past, that's not something that I would have felt worthy of. You know,
Wow. Mm.
um, because and he's very generous. With me, and so for me to be able to accept his generosity was also a big breakthrough, because um, I know I would have wanted to have given an equal amount back. Maybe not in monetary, but means, but maybe in acts of service, or some other way to return it. And so that's just an example of feeling worthy, feeling like you're worth the investment. I saw our good friend, your other client, Lauren, get married, and I met Lauren a little bit. She also has this humility to her, but for her, to be able to have that extravagant wedding, So, anyways, I'm saying this because I relate to her too. That to have somebody say you're worth it, you're my queen. I've heard this. You deserve it, baby, and that and more. And so, this is still, this is before you. This has never happened before. You know, and so I just wanted to say that. Um,
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you for sharing. And I think it's the art of stretching our receiving muscles, right?
yes.
And just opening our heart and letting it in all that love and just continuing to breathe and feel worthy. So,
Yeah.
Lisette, long story short, would you say that what you invested in the coaching was worth it?
Uh, yes, and 10 times more. Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Um, I can't say it another way. Yes, absolutely. At least for those who are absolutely, for those who are sure that they desire marriage or long-term commitment. For me, I wanted a family, but I just didn't want to have a family, by myself as the only parent. If that's for you, and you were like me, stuck in a rut, then this is your gateway. this is the catalyst to make that change. And it took me. I've been working on your programs for about 2 years now, and so I've over time I've seen the leaps and bounds, and the gradual progress. Mhm.
And so you have to be patient and you have to keep your eyes on the goal and not lose hope when it gets hard. Keep the trust. I think the trust is so important. And I think if you follow the steps, and the steps are sometimes easy and sometimes really hard to implement because they need you to be so brutally honest with yourself
Right.
and to go deeper and to face your demons. And it's so much more easier in those moments to actually just keep doing what we've always been doing, which we know doesn't work, but we still feel such a strong pull to do exactly that. So I think if a woman can just hold her energy, hold her belief that true love is possible for her, what we're teaching here as part of the Wunder work can totally change lives. So Lisette, thank you so much for sharing your journey. It is an absolute joy, pleasure, almost moves me to tears sometimes to hear and read such happy stories. And thank you for sharing this with all the other ladies who are scared to make the leap, who keep coming on the website and keep clicking on the form but don't send it, who want to send that message but don't click send again on the message and just reach out to me. I think it's very inspiring for them to hear a last final piece of advice from you.
Yes, absolutely. I say there's more at stake if you don't do it. You know, there's more time at stake, maybe even more, maybe heartbreak, humiliations. I don't know. There, there's a lot to gain. I wanted, I was looking for marriage, but there is a lot to gain. Other areas of your life with respect to, self-value, self-worth, having a positive outlook. I just can't say enough. I'd say, you're taking a bigger risk not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too expensive not to do it, not to leap in.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, you're right. Yes. I'm seeing the returns come back in dividends. So, and big time.
And it's
So,
lifelong now, touch wood. It's not going to stop.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm enjoying
beautiful.
it.
Beautiful. All right. So thank you, Lisette, for joining us. And for all those women out there who are looking to join me as part of my private coaching or as part of my Inner Circle group coaching program, all you have to do is send me a message at Sami@SamiWunder.com. And that's where it starts, just by taking that one little action that leads to results like Lisette has and so many other amazing women have as well as part of doing this work. So thanks again, Lisette, and bye bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.